Alright, so the Eagles have brought in a couple more top 30 visits with the list up to 19. Plus, A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith continue to get in offseason work, while Parris Campbell is already claiming the wide receiver 3 spot. So let's talk about why he makes sense in the role and the expectations in Kellen Moore's offense. Also, could Micah Parsons be getting forced out of Dallas? And Howie Roseman is making his draft night plans even more evident. So let's break it down. But first, let's run it. What's up, guys? I hope you all had a great weekend, and apologize for getting this up a little bit later, but as you can see, I was preoccupied. Because the eclipse went from partial to just about complete totality in our neighborhood, so y'all know I had to take complete advantage of that and the experience while, maybe reminding Dallas fans that the only ring they'd see this season was that one. Curious how many of you actually watched the moon block out the sun. I'd imagine it was a similar number to those of you who watched Jason Kelce and Lane Johnson wreck shop during their surprising WrestleMania appearance. Except, was it really a surprise? I mean, come on, if you're gonna hold a Philly outing, it better include Jason. And with Lane's appreciation for the WWE, he was the easiest choice to tag team with 62. I'll be honest though, I'm not really into wrestling, but the connection with Philly and the Eagles and Lane Johnson and everything else combined with Kelce kind of got me interested, as the two future Hall of Famers ran into the ring wearing luchador masks to help swing the tide. But not only did Dominic Mysterio not like seeing sexy Batman, another future Hall of Famer in Aaron Donald talked about the team he hated playing the most over the weekend.
I hated playing against Philly. Kelce, his little fast always ran full. He would snap the ball and run over right now and I'm like, bro, you got some good guards. Let them work. You don't got to help them every time. I'm not letting you. We're not gonna let you ruin the game. And I'm like, God, every time I played the Eagles, bro, I really never really got no one-on-ones. I probably had like one or two during the game, and that would be it. If you don't win any one-on-one that time, then you're done. You're going to get doubled and triple team for the rest of the game.
Obviously, a lot of credit goes to Jeff Stoutland and the entire game plan for trying to stop players like Aaron Donald. But sure, we're at a crossroads. It's the changing of the guard between Jason Kelce and Beef Jerky. However, those in the know I'm supremely confident in Cam Jurgens being up to the task of protecting the QB. Kind of like Jordan Mailata and Moro Ojomo's reaction to John Cena returning. Now, speaking of that protection, I also got a kick out of Lane Johnson wearing a Big Dom security shirt to support Dom DeSandro. Like, not only does Big Dom offer the protection and head of security for the Birds, but apparently, in case you forgot, is the Sirianni whisperer / semi-babysitter, if you even believe that.
I don't want you to feel like I'm babysitting you or something.
Sorry, that's a bit far for me to believe. However, Big Dom is still a legend. Also, that's a pretty dope shirt. So let's give one away. So if you want one, all you gotta do is like the video and then go comment Big Dom in the comments. So hit that like button and then I'll pick one lucky winner during my next live stream to win the t-shirt. Alright, let's get into some wide receiver talk. Since A.J. Brown has definitely been quiet this offseason, but that definitely does not mean he hasn't been putting in the work. With Swole Batman posting to Instagram to show off the offseason workout, and I'd say it's fair to question or wonder if this dude is getting faster and even more explosive. Pause for maybe a second. This is just a reminder of how great AJ is. Seriously, I really don't think he's hit his ceiling yet, and with him being excited to play in Kellen Moore's offense, Jalen Hurts can't wait to get those stress-free completions and blitz beaters, while also utilizing all of his weapons on the field. And sure, it's obvious that Saquon Barkley completely changes the game with his presence and dynamic ability. Plus, with Devontae Smith, who's been rumored to be getting lined up all over the field next season, not slowing down his offseason work, he's going to do everything he can to secure the biggest contract possible, which, good for him, but also I wouldn't be surprised if this happens before the season starts. But another wideout who's confident he'll make a significant impact is speedster Parris Campbell, with a former Colts receiver telling the Inquirer's Olivia Reiner that Nick Sirianni knows how to use him.
And I knew exactly what to do, but in a much more real sense, I had no idea what to do.
Okay, it's hard to deny that it didn't appear that way last season at times. Whether it was the incessant screenplays or calling them the worst situations, or just the lack of committing to the run game in general. Although on a serious note, Campbell will for sure be better than Quez, saying there's familiar people in the building like Kevin Patullo, the passing game coordinator, and Jason Michael, the tight ends coach, and that they can also help put the 4-3-40 burner in the best position to make plays. Also, the biggest and most important element of the equation is Kellen Moore, since all of Moore's offenses have heavily utilized the wide receiver 3 position when compared to Sirianni's offenses. So with the 26-year-old set to prove the Giants wrong and earn a bigger contract, with him being on a one-year prove-it deal, I wouldn't put it out of the question that Campbell wins out as the starter. And yeah, maybe not surprising that the former second-round pick believes he'll go in there and carve out a role while saying he'll take his chances any day of the week and is confident in the player that he is. Because it's a fair point, and like I mentioned, he knows Sirianni, so I don't see why he can't go in there and win the job. Obviously, there's There's the draft to consider as well, with Xavier Worthy being linked to the Birds, as well as Brendan Rice, who's actually come in for a top 30 visit, or even a later pickup via trade, which John Metchie is a guy that I talked about in one of the previous videos. But I'm interested to hear y'all's thoughts. Who is the most realistic wide receiver 3 for the Eagles right now? Either way, at least we're not the all-in Dallas Cowboys right now. Because while Philly's wide receiver problems are minuscule, Dallas's are glaring. After it was reported that Cowboys star wide receiver CeeDee Lamb is not expected to attend OTAs and will likely end up leading to a holdout unless the sides can come to an agreement. I just love how poorly the Joneses continue to manage this organization. The funniest part is that if you ever wanted an antonym for the phrase all in, just look up Dallas and how it's handled this offseason. I mean, they've literally signed the same number of external free agents this offseason as there have been eclipses. So instead of being all in, Micah Parsons might be all out at this point, because apparently his attitude is wearing thin.
I have heard from way too many people this offseason. Way too many. I'm talking about at least 4 different people that Micah has worn thin there. Now, I don't know how much is true and how much it actually hurts. I don't know whether this is the behavior of a typical superstar. I don't know how damaging it is, but all I do know is this. I've heard from way too many people. If Micah Parsons was out of there, there'd be a decent amount of people inside the Ford Center at the Star in Frisco smiling or breathing a sigh of relief.
Naturally, all that drama has led to the potential talk of Micah Parsons coming to Philly. By the way, since when did 4 people equate to way too many individuals? I mean, it's no secret that Parsons has an infatuation for the Birds. Yet what's up with the media in several different markets just trying to constantly run a dude out of town? But come on, even so, no inter-division rival is going to allow their best player to go to another division rival just to make their lives a living hell for the next several years, right? Oh, well, there was that whole Saquon thing and John Mara not even offering a contract or anything to him. But seriously though, what % chance is it really for Micah to come to Philly? I just find it so incredibly difficult to believe that Dallas would botch it so bad to get Micah Parsons into Kelly Green. Although again, it is Dallas, so it's not impossible. Just like it's not impossible for Howie Roseman to trade up in the draft. In fact, it's probably more likely to happen than not, since he's done so in 4 of the last 5 drafts. And while my push is going to be for cornerback, I can't deny that getting UCLA's Laiatu Latu is at least intriguing, because this dude is without a doubt the most dominant pass rusher in the class, with Jim Nagy saying Laiatu has the most NFL-ready rush game I've seen in years, and that he'll make an immediate impact on sub-downs for any team that takes him. Okay, I get it. This time of year brings up all the hyperbole and overreactions and everything else, but the analytics also back up that statement, since according to Football Insights, Laiatu has the best true pass set win rate over the last 10 years, and the second best overall pass rush win rate behind Nick Bosa. Really, the only thing that makes me hesitate is Laitu's medical history, seeing that his neck injuries made him medically retire before eventually returning back to the game, but he definitely provides some added depth, and I do love the idea of an immediate impact player. Of course, if we go back to these rankings, there's another guy on there that I'd love to see Philly grab in the later rounds, because the potential and film on him are certainly notable, with Colorado State's Mohamed Kamara boasting one of the best pass rush win rates this past season, while also scoring as one of the top edges in grading and production with 14 sacks last season. And anyone who's watched him knows he plays with a non-stop Energizer Bunny motor. Yet it's really his array of pass rushing moves and knowledge like Brett Coleman has shared that makes the New Jersey native a guy to keep an eye on during day 3.
I'm not just going to be like, okay, I'm God-gifted speed, I'm God-gifted strength, I'm God-gifted bend. You're going to have to play me. It's a game within a game. I think that's where I should see that a lot of the times, because I don't just bring one thing to the table. I have an arsenal of things that I can do. Sometimes I'm a really, really fast guy. I have a great get off. But sometimes I might stutter off the line and you'd be like, oh, snap.
I'm telling you, I love this dude's ability to get after the quarterback. By the way, I've got a link for the rest of that interview if you want to go check it out in the description. Oh yeah, also Kamara's gotten bootleg stamp of approval in this draft class, which for those following definitely means something, since last year's class award was handed to Kobe Turner, you know, the guy who led all rookies in sacks with 9 for the LA Rams and was clearly dominant. Obviously no one's a lock, but I'd side with their knowledge of the 24-year-old's game. Now, on the flip side, some of the negatives I've seen are his lack of height and that he can sometimes struggle to set the edge with his hard-charging play style. Although personally, I'd still rather go with a dude that I don't have to coach effort on. Anyway, let me know what you guys think of Kamara and the potential of him playing with the Eagles. The reason I brought him up is because I don't see it being very likely Howie goes with an edge early, much like Dave Mangles and others who have suggested that Philly may have tipped its hand when it comes to the first round selection, especially given all the top 30 visits with offensive linemen so far, where we can officially add another one to that list after Jordan Schultz reported Washington's Troy Fautanu is scheduled to meet with the Eagles, aka the third most athletic tackle in the class and the offensive lineman who Jeff Stoutland was enamored with at the NFL Combine. So for those counting, the Birds met with him at the Combine, they formally spoke with him, also was at his pro day, interviewed him afterwards, and are now bringing him in for a top 30 visit. Yeah, sounds like quite a bit of interest. I mean, the first line of his scouting report just has him tailor-made for Stout, reading Fautanu is a ready-made brawler without an ounce of finesse in his game. On that note, though, I should mention another top 30 visit who's known for his physicality and not as much finesse in Wake Forest cornerback Caelen Carson, as the 6-foot, 195-pound corner visited the Birds for a top 30 meeting, and considering that he's expected to go somewhere around day 3, I think it's just another indication that Howie is unlikely to go corner in the first. However, there is still a lot to like, with PFN's draft analyst Ian Cummings saying Carson is a super competitive cornerback with all the corrective mechanics you want, while thinking he gets slept on in this class. Also, he is expected to eventually be an average starter, as a guy who's already shown the willingness and toughness to come up and make plays in the run. It's just unfortunately the physical traits are ahead of the positional skills at the moment. Still, another guy to chalk up in the meeting tracker, which again, by the way, I've got a link in the description for a meeting tracker if you're interested in that, and we get a little bit of an idea of where Howie's leaning. All right, let me know what you guys think about all the latest moves, and I'll catch you on the next one. This has been the Philly Special.